Welcome. I'm Diane Planadin, licensed with eXp Realty, and today we're going to talk about the BC property transfer tax. Ooh, sounds exciting, right? Not really, because I'm not a tax accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not even giving you legal advice. I'm talking to you today about this property transfer tax because it doesn't matter who you are. If you're purchasing property or selling property in British Columbia, you need to know about this additional tax. I work from Calgary all the way to cottage country in the Columbia Valley, and a lot of my clients are in both places. So it's really important to understand the differences, not only in where you're purchasing property, but how that compares. So if you are living in Alberta and you're purchasing a vacation property in the Columbia Valley, you need to know this property transfer tax is going to apply to you. I will also link in the show notes where you can find all this information online so you have it at your fingertips. So the property transfer tax, what is it and how does it impact you? The property transfer tax is generally paid by the buyer, but as a seller, you also need to be aware of this. So let's break it down here. It's 1% of the fair market value up to and including 200,000. After that, there's a next tier. Between 200 and 2 million, it's an additional 2%. And then finally, 3% of the fair market value greater than 2 million. And if it's over 3 million, well, guess what? That tax just keeps adding up. So the estimated tax payable is available on this website here. And like I said, I will link it in the show notes. There are some exemptions, but I'm not a tax accountant or a lawyer. This is just for general information. Now, it's really important to understand this because when your realtor is writing up the offer to purchase, this transfer tax should be included, but the buyer is aware the property transfer tax is payable by the buyer. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you're selling and you receive an offer to purchase and it's not outlined in that, you as a seller do not know if the buyer is aware that they are paying the property transfer tax. You want to make sure everything is absolutely in writing and everyone involved is very crystal clear on the clauses that should be in the offer to purchase. Buyers, sellers, their realtors should know that this should all be complete. For the benefit of the buyer and the seller, that there's this awareness. So I will give you a little bit more summary on here. It's fair market value. In most cases, this will be the final sale price agreed upon in the purchase contract. However, there can be different scenarios where there's exemptions. Private sales or sales not listed on the open market, when there's a long time gap between the contract and completion date. Again, seek professional advice, but keep in mind, you still need to file, whether you're exempt or not. There are some exemptions, and like I said, I'm going to link it in the show notes, but you may need to pay, like let's say you're exempt, you still may need to pay that tax first and then get a refund. But a tax professional, your lawyer can help you navigate this. And remember, the province of British Columbia frequently audits in 3 specific situations: improper exemption claims, disagreement on the reported fair market value, and avoidance transactions. Haha. What's an avoidance transaction? Well, that's when maybe somebody's trying to pay a little cash on the side to avoid the extra tax, reduce the price. Yes, these things do happen, but keep in mind, even if you as the buyer or seller do not think you'll get audited, I can guarantee the realtor's brokerage will. These things are always looked at with a fine-tooth comb. Nothing is going to get by. It's just one of those things. Keep it simple, keep it on the up and up, make sure it's in the purchase contract for both parties to know that each other is aware. Super important. Property transfer tax, consult your lawyer, consult an accountant. Know what your taxes are when you're purchasing property in BC. Alberta doesn't have this. So that's why it's really important that you deal with a realtor who's aware of how each province is differently, especially if you're coming to cottage country. I work in the Columbia Valley. Radium, Fairmont, Invermere, Windermere, Panorama, Columbia Lake. I'm Diane Planet with eXp Realty, ready to help you make a move. And remember, there's no place like home.